What's up, fans, friends, and followers? This is Andy Cambria from the Music Emporium.
Dan King from the Music Emporium here.
And we're here to talk to you today about our Spring 2022 Vintage Collection. This is an exciting day, especially for Dan and I, who kind of oversee the vintage inventory here at the Music Emporium. And we're going a little bit of a different route these days with our vintage inventory. Instead of just doling instruments out one at a time as they come in, we've sort of amassed a bunch of instruments that we feel, really jazzed about for one reason or another. It might be because it's an exceptional, example of what that instrument is. It might be because of rarity, collectability, whatever it is. I think we would say that these are all instruments that we would really be proud to own, and we stand behind them, having acquired and vetted them. So hopefully for our customers, it says no questions as an instrument can get.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think to a point, we all look at what these guitars can deliver beyond the instrument itself. What's the story behind it? And to be frank, not all of them are going to have a story, but I think that's up to the next owner to create that new story and feel as passionate as we do about these instruments.
Great point, Dan. And just to sort of head question number one off at the pass, yes, we have excellent sound demos of all of these instruments recorded. We're not going to do a whole lot of playing of them right here. If you want to hear a great demo of any one of these instruments, we're going to have all the links in the description. Remember to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube if you want to get notifications when these videos come out in the future. But with all that said, let's kind of jump in and we'll have Dan chat about the first electric in the collection.
No better way to start off showing off some of this vintage electric collection for the spring than a tremendous 1955 Gibson Les Paul Jr. This came to us from a local friend of ours in excellent condition. Probably one of the lightest ones we've ever had the chance to check out. It comes in at about 6 3/4 pounds, super light, really resonant. It's a great example of what this model was introduced as in 1954. So it has those similar specs, barrel knobs, really great Gibson teardrop sunburst here. It's got some wonderful character and patina on the hardware. Again, an exceptional example, a no-frills kind of rock and roll machine. We love it for that. And again, just a great example of what you can get in a mid-50s single-cut slab body Les Paul Jr.
1937 Martin 00018. This is about as poster child an acoustic guitar as you could ever hope to find. Amazing, crack-free, completely original except for a TJ Thompson replica bridge and a neck reset done by Joe Conkley, our friend at Elderly Instruments in Michigan. It's got it all. I don't know what more you can say. Balance, power, depth of tone. If you want that vintage sound that no other instrument that will ever hope to attain, I mean, this is it in a nutshell. Also the original hard case included with this one. Again, sound demo, hit the link in the description below.
We've got quite possibly one of the cleanest mid to late 50s Esquires I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Man, talk about a true closet classic. You might look at it and say, well, it looks played, but in person, this is one of the cleaner examples we've probably come in contact with. It's a beautiful January 57 Fender Esquire in the original blonde finish, down to the ashtray cover, original knobs, electronics, amazing sounding guitar. This one really does have it all too. Anybody who tells you that a single pickup guitar isn't versatile, we'll give you a quick history lesson on what the Junior and this Esquire can achieve here.
And again, you want to hear what it sounds like, hit the links in the description below. We got a video of Duke playing this one too, and I remember when we recorded it, all of us were pretty much saying, that's it.
Yeah, that's the sound.
That is the sound. Next flat top in the collection definitely hits kind of a sweet spot for me personally. This is a 1929 Martin 0018. I personally own a 1928 0018, so pretty much the same exact guitar that we have right here. Exceptionally clean condition, just a replica bridge and a refret. This is in a very small window of time where Martins actually had rectangle bridges after the pyramid, before the belly. and they're really amazing and especially responsive guitars, whether you're playing fingerstyle or a flat pick. These late 20s guitars have maybe been, overlooked as flat picking instruments, as long as you're not going to thrash it and play super aggressive bluegrass rhythm on it. They're really, really warm and fat sounding, and the double O to me occupies just the perfect sweet spot. Bigger than a single O, it's going to give you better sound. Short scale, so you get that sort of comfy playability that a triple O wouldn't provide. And this one is really just an exceptional instrument. If you've been looking for a double O, honestly, it doesn't get any better than this either.
Kind of an unsung hero of the 50s and 60s. Early Guilds, especially these electrics, are still such tremendous values in the vintage market. You're always looking at an ES-335 as kind of the reference point for a great semi-hollow electric. And they are. They're fantastic guitars. They can get pretty pricey. And if you want that kind of tone and don't want to break the bank, the Guild Starfires embody a lot of the great quality of that design, albeit with a little bit of a different flavor, but equally as cool, plenty of vibe. This is a 67 Starfire IV. It is an all mahogany laminate, semi-hollow body with a center block. It's got Guild's original mini humbucking pickups, which sound great. A little bit lower output, really great clean sound, but they sound fabulous gained up. You'll hear a really tremendous video of Duke wailing on this guitar. Clearly played in, a good example of if a guitar is great, you're going to see the identification marks of this one being put to work, which we love to see. And again, just a representation of what a really great classic 60s electric can give you. We'll do a little swap.
Yep.
Be remiss if I didn't say this is probably the only natural 175 I've ever seen in person.
I've never seen one either. Definitely the only one we've ever had in the shop.
Yep. 1956 Gibson ES-175N, N standing for natural. This came to us from a local customer of ours who bought it from the original owner. Gentleman down in New Jersey owned this since his entire life up until a few years ago. So a family-owned instrument. It was purchased in all original condition. Had never had any work done to it. The gentleman who we bought it from had a refret by our great friend Steve Morrill over in Boxborough, Mass. Other than that, this is an entirely original instrument. Original electronics, finish, the pickguard, bridge, tailpiece, it's all here. This is the ultimate jazz hollow body here. Comes with the original Lifton brown hardshell case as well.
Yeah, so this 48D18 actually comes to us from the same person who brought the 175 in. Equivalently amazing condition on this one. It's been played, beautiful natural pick wear, buckle wear, scratches all over the thing. Like I said, it's been played. It's not a guitar for somebody who wants a mint condition, closet queen kind of instrument, but that's not really the first thing that we're looking for. We're looking for sound, we're looking for responsiveness, we're looking for depth of tone. And as far as a late 40s Z18 goes, I would say, again, like I've said about the other two Marians, it really doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Original, except for well done neck set, replaced end pin right there. Does anyone care about the end pin? I don't know. It does. It's got a non-original end pin, so what? But like I said, this is an exceptionally lightweight and responsive D18 for a late 40s instrument. We had this strung up with light gauge strings, and this is one of those tricks that sort of often gets overlooked about a Martin Dreadnought. If you're not the world's most aggressive player, if you don't want the extra sort of stiffness and string tension that medium strings will impart, try one of these guitars with light gauge strings. They still sound amazing. They work for any style of music, flat pick, finger pick, whatever, alternate tunings, they sound amazing. Whether lights or mediums, this thing, it just rings like a bell, super responsive, and if you're looking for a great late 40s D18 that's not going to command the super high prices that one made only a few years earlier will, it doesn't get any better than this.
Every now and then, you get a unicorn like this 1971 Fender Telecaster in the original blonde finish. This is one of the best 70s Telecasters. I know you were just ad nauseum with one of the best here and there. But really, we've been fortunate to curate some of the best examples of what these guitars can offer. Under 7 pounds, that's borderline featherweight. I mean, and if you're talking about a 70s guitar, it's like half the weight of a run-of-the-mill 70s Tele. So high 6-pound range, incredible playing neck. The pickups sound fantastic. You want to talk about value in a vintage Fender, this is it. Man, it is just off the charts good. It's got the original maple neck finish as well, in really great shape. Looks like probably an old refret, but man, this thing's been played into. It just sounds fantastic. Rings like a bell acoustically, and delivers all that classic Teletone that you'd want plugged in.
This thing is super, super clean too. I think that's probably coming through on camera, but honestly, it's like getting a closet classic from the Fender Custom Shop. If you're one of those people who's thinking about getting into a vintage guitar, but you don't want one with compromises or issues or weird cosmetic stuff going on, if that bothers you, I mean, this thing, it's a closet classic.
I mean, what else do I have to say other than a 72 Strat that, to me, plays and sounds just as good as some of the late 60s Hendrix spec stuff that I've ever played. This came to us from a gentleman whose uncle owned a guitar store up in Vermont for the better part of 40 years, and had kind of tucked away some of his most prized pieces that he had collected over the years. It's believed that this was once owned by an upstate New York band from the 60s and 70s, guitar player in the band Eternity. Digging a little bit of research, we found out that this may have been one of a preferred stage instrument, albeit it's very, very clean. Shows off the tremendous 3-tone sunburst. And this one is almost entirely original. Original pickups, original neck. It's got replaced tuners and one replaced volume pot. Otherwise stock, original bridge. This thing sounds like the best versions of each era Fender Strat that you could think of. Warm, but with punch and clarity. It's a tremendous instrument. Great weight for a Strat. It's got the old 3-bolt neck design, but don't let that scare you. Once you hear this thing plugged in, it's not going to matter what kind of neck bolt system you have on the guitar. 3, 4, 2, whatever. This thing's amazing.
This is one of those guitars like we were kind of alluding to earlier. You know, everybody thinks, 70s Strat, you know, what's the big deal? But this thing, if you look at the condition of it, look at the case, which has the band's old logo kind of emblazoned on it. Somebody loved this thing. It's been played on endless gigs, been played hard for 40 plus years at this point, but it's still super clean. Somebody loved this guitar, and that really shows in, you know, the pride of ownership, how little has been done to it.
Right, no DiMarzios in
no
this thing,
DiMarzios.
right?
Nope.
That's got to tell you something.
Exactly. It survived the 70s and 80s with somebody cherishing it, and again, if you're the kind of player who's looking for one of those, silver platter right here.
There it is.
The last kind of sentimental sweet spot for me in the flat tops in this collection is this 1956 Martin D18. Again, having owned a 57 D18, I pretty much had the exact same guitar at one point. You're probably thinking to yourself, this guy's owned a lot of guitars. I mean, you have too, let's be honest. We'll get Elliot on camera next time and talk about owning a lot of guitars. 56 and 57 Martin D18s, I mean, instantly identifiable by the pick guard, probably to people who are involved in the Martin world. But these guitars are also sort of sleepers to me. A little bit undervalued. You know, everybody thinks the guitars post 55 aren't going to hang with the ones made before it. It's not a 30s guitar. It's not an early 40s guitar. It's not a scallop brace guitar, no. But what these guitars do really, really well is cut. If you're a flat picker, playing single note leads, you know, whether on stage, recording, in a jam, these things have an amazing responsiveness up the neck for single note flat picking. And this is one of those instruments where I would say if you're looking for one of those, if you have a certain, you know, budget in mind, you want a vintage guitar, you want that sound that no other new guitar is going to deliver, These things are sleepers, and this one is a dynamite example of what a 50s Martin Dreadnought can do. It's all original except for a refret and a really well done neck reset. No issues, super clean, sounds great. Here's another silver platter guitar for anybody looking for a Martin Dreadnought.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
I think that wraps it up. We do have a couple of amps coming in the collection that aren't pictured.
We do, yeah.
Dan, you want to just run those down real quick?
Sure, yeah. We've got some great classic Fender amps coming through. We've got an early 50s wide panel deluxe and a brown Princeton. And we'll have more in the pipeline too. We've got some great classic early brown and blackface, bigger Fender combos that'll be kind of pushed out in the coming months with a little bit of this collection and collections down the road. So look out for those.
If you've made it to this point in the video, congratulations. Thank you very much. We'll wrap it up here by saying all these instruments are live on the website. Links are in the descriptions below to the listings and the demos. If you want to be sure you're notified when we have new vintage instruments coming out, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and that is about it. Happy browsing on the website, and hit us up directly if you have any questions about any of the guitars in this video.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.